All right, so think about this for a second, right?
Yeah.
You're scrolling through those endless cat videos online. You're battling it out in your favorite game.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever stopped to think about what's actually powering all of that?
Yeah.
It's these massive, I mean, truly massive hubs of computing power.
Right.
We call them data centers. And they're becoming increasingly essential to, I mean, everything we do online these days.
Pretty much.
Today, we're diving deep into this.
Okay.
We found this report, and it highlights just how incredibly the data center industry is growing,
Yeah.
especially the way it's being shaped by AI and cloud computing.
Lots to talk about there.
So we're not just going to talk about how much this whole thing is expanding, but also what's driving it
Okay.
and what hurdles it's facing.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
What does this mean for you, the listener,
Hmm.
in a world that's like increasingly reliant on these digital hubs?
And it's a big transformation happening.
Oh, yeah.
Just to give you an idea, this data center market, it's projected to reach $1.4 trillion by 2027.
Trillion.
Trillion.
Wow. That's a lot of zeros.
Yeah.
You start to realize how much we depend on these digital powerhouses. So let's get into what's fueling all this growth, shall we?
Sure.
The report points to AI workloads.
Right.
And this is a big one.
Yeah.
We've all heard about generative AI.
Right. Yeah.
Those tools that can like whip up these realistic images and write text like almost like a human.
Almost.
But to train those AI models,
Yeah.
you need a crazy amount of computing power.
You need a lot of power.
It's wild.
It is. And it's not just the training.
Oh, okay.
Think about stuff like real-time analytics.
Yeah.
The technology that powers things like personalized recommendations when you're on your shopping apps or edge computing.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
It brings computation closer to the user. So you can do things like stream videos on your phone
Super fast.
super fast.
Yeah.
Exactly. And all these applications, they all need more powerful data centers.
More efficient too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. More efficient.
Okay, that makes sense. And then there's this huge movement toward cloud adoption.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Businesses are like ditching their physical servers, moving everything to the cloud,
Makes sense.
which, relies on data centers.
Totally.
It seems like every company is all about this hybrid and multi-cloud strategy,
Right.
which means like they're using multiple cloud providers.
At the same time.
Yeah, all at once.
It gets complicated.
Does it?
Yeah, it actually kind of pushes even more growth in the data center industry.
Really?
Think about it. You have to manage workloads across all these different providers, make sure they can work together,
Yeah.
and security.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be a nightmare.
You need a really robust, sophisticated data center infrastructure to handle all of that.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Everything's connected. And speaking of connections, this report talks about sustainability too.
Right.
And it's kind of ironic.
Oh, so.
We need data centers for like a digital future, right? But they use a lot of energy.
It's true, they do. A lot of energy.
So how do we fix that?
Well, the industry knows this is a big challenge.
Yeah.
And we're seeing some cool innovations popping up,
Like what?
like liquid cooling systems.
Okay.
Way more efficient than air conditioning.
Oh, really?
And AI's getting in on it too.
AI can make things more efficient.
It can. By using AI to optimize energy use in the data centers themselves.
Oh, wow.
You can actually predict and adapt to those changes in demand.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So AI is powering the services in these data centers. It's also making the data centers themselves more efficient.
Exactly.
It's like a positive feedback loop.
Yeah.
This report also highlights some major players in the industry,
Oh, yeah.
like AirTrunk.
Okay.
They're focused on these hyperscale data centers,
hyperscale.
the really big ones,
Right.
really powerful. And they're making a big push in the Asia-Pacific region.
Interesting.
They're even using advanced cooling tech to handle all the heat generated by all that computing.
Well, the Asia-Pacific region, it's a hotbed for data center growth.
Oh, is it?
A booming digital economy there, a lot of tech-savvy people.
Yeah.
It's got huge potential, that market.
Yeah.
But there are challenges, too.
Like what?
Like infrastructure development,
Right.
regulations. It's a mixed bag.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
There's another key player mentioned, Digital Realty.
Okay, I've heard of them.
They're a global provider, and they're known for using AI to optimize their data center operations.
What do they use it for?
Stuff like predictive maintenance,
Yeah.
finding potential problems before they become like major disasters.
It's smart.
right.
Yeah. So AI enhances efficiency and reliability
Exactly.
because it's analyzing tons of data.
Yeah.
AI can predict when a server might fail.
So you can fix it before it breaks.
Exactly. You can do proactive maintenance, prevent downtime.
It's incredible. This all sounds so promising,
It is.
but there are challenges.
Yeah.
This massive growth in data centers, it brings up some big questions,
Like what?
like energy consumption, like we talked about before.
Right. It's not just about the industry itself.
It isn't.
No. It's about us, our digital footprint. How much energy do our devices actually use? Could we be more careful?
Right. Maybe we should think about our data usage more.
Exactly. It's all connected.
Yeah, you're right. And this report also points out the geopolitical factors involved.
Oh, right.
Regional regulations, data sovereignty laws, supply chain stuff.
Uh-huh.
It all impacts where and how these data centers get built and run.
Makes sense.
Take Foxconn, for example.
Okay.
They're mainly known for electronics manufacturing, right?
Yeah.
Now they're setting up AI server facilities in places like Mexico, probably to, diversify their operations,
Yeah, I see.
navigate the risks.
Yeah, it's a smart strategy.
It is.
Diversifying locations helps with the risks.
Totally.
It's about resilience, right?
Yeah. So we talk about a lot here. It's clear these data centers are more than just servers humming away in a building somewhere.
It is.
They're the backbone of our digital world.
They are.
AI, cloud computing, the everyday things we do online.
It all relies on them.
Yeah. It all depends on data centers. And while there are definitely challenges we need to face,
Yeah.
it's also an exciting time to be, alive.
It is.
We're seeing all this innovation happening
It has the potential to, really shape the future of technology.
in the world. It makes you wonder, as data centers become even more a part of our lives,
Yeah,
what ethical considerations should we be thinking about?
that's a good question.
How do we make sure growth in this industry is responsible and sustainable? Something to think about as we move into this digital-first future.
Absolutely. A lot to consider.
A lot to consider.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for having me.